Hey guys, Brien here with another week of my culinary school journey at the Culinary Institute of America at Greystone. This is week 15 of semester 2, my last week of high volume production, as well as the last week of my first year at the Culinary Institute of America at Greystone. Such a fantastic year. I am so excited it's over, and I'm so excited for what's about to happen as well. Let's start this video off talking about my liberal arts classes, as I always do. And as I discussed, last week was actually the very last week of my menus class taught by Professor Rogie. So this week, the only two classes I had were my food systems class taught by Professor Jennifer Kaplan and my high volume production class taught by Chef Paul Irving. Now, the food systems class, we were kind of wrapping things up. We only had two classes this week. One of them was really wrapping up the curriculum and going over the review for our final. We discussed the last topic in the food systems course, as well as our last kind of group class chat on the omnivore's dilemma. I know I've mentioned the omnivore's dilemma before. Please, anyone that's interested in food, sustainability, kind of finding out where we are as a food system, highly recommend this book. Michael Pollan, great author, phenomenal book. Please go out and get yourself a copy. It's absolutely worth the read. Now, in the food systems class, we talked, again, it's mainly about sustainability and learning about the different facets and the different ways that we can help improve the world and the food system as a whole. That continued on this week. Again, we kind of touched on our last topic as well as talked about the omnivore's dilemma in class. And then we had our final written exam, which was challenging. But if you pay attention, you read the omnivore's dilemma and you kind of have a good idea about sustainability and the good practices that chefs need to make in order to improve the world, you probably did pretty well on the test. So again, that class, Professor Jennifer Kaplan was a phenomenal instructor. She really got more participation out of our class than any other class that we've been in. As I mentioned before, some of the debates in class turned quite heated, but that's a good thing. There is no right answer when it comes to a lot of these topics, and that definitely came out in class. So that was a phenomenal class. Again, food systems with Professor Jennifer Kaplan. Anyone interested in learning about sustainability or the food system as a whole, highly recommend that class. Now, the final class of my first year at the Culinary Institute of America is high volume production cookery taught by Chef Paul Irving. Now, as I mentioned in my previous posts, this class has run smoother than any other cooking class that my class has had this year as a whole in culinary school. And that just continued in week 3. We were rolling, we got our food out on time, our food tasted good, high quality, and our chef was happy. All of those things are everything that you try to do at culinary school. And this week was no different than any other week. We absolutely killed it, and I am so happy for my class. AOS 65, some of the best people I've ever worked with. They're motivated, they're strong, they're educated, they're smart. It's such a pleasure to be around people that are as passionate as I am about food. We, the first 4 days of class this week, we were just like every normal day. The last day, however, Friday, was really, let's just kind of wing it. Let's, make breakfast food because we're still in our breakfast menu, but let's take the things that we have extra of or extra things that we find around the kitchen and create food that way. That's a lot of ways that they make family meal at restaurants, or the meal that they actually feed staff is take a bunch of extra ingredients and some things that there's an abundance of in the kitchen, whip something up and serve it to staff so that they don't go hungry and they don't eat all the food from the restaurant. I did potatoes O'Brien. It was actually really fun. We had an abundance of potatoes and bell peppers and onions, and so I just decided to whip that up. It was a really fun day. We made breakfast burritos. We made just tons and tons of cool breakfast food that we enjoyed cooking, that the rest of the students at the school enjoyed eating, and it was just phenomenal. Now, we also had a written test for that class as well, but again, if you had studied the curriculum and paid attention in class, the test itself wasn't that hard. But I will say that Chef Paul Irving is one of the greatest chefs that I've worked with because of his demeanor in the kitchen and the way that he speaks. It's very soft spoken, so in lecture it's crazy. You could basically hear a pin drop from everybody so intently listening to the chef. He's an amazing man. He motivated us all to do the best work that we could do. He designed the course and the menu to be fun so that no one is standing around bored, so that all the food was actually delicious and that every team actually got to put out a good amount of food and have it eaten by the students and staff. And so I have nothing bad to say about the class. It was so much fun, and it was a great way to wrap up the curriculum for my first year at the Culinary in preparation for my externship at Bouchon Bistro. So that's it, guys. I mean, that's week 15 in the books. First year of the Culinary Institute of America in the books. I can't tell you how far it's taken me. Coming here in January, it's now September. The amount of information that I've learned in this first year is unbelievable. I'm so happy with the curriculum at this school. Anybody that's interested in going to the school, it's not a terrible idea. Just know that you're going to work hard, you're going to study a lot, and you're going to be cooking an awful lot as well. So that's it for me, guys. You're not going to see me for a while. I'm going to be on my externship at Bouchon Bistro until the end of 2018. So you won't see my weekly videos for a while, so hopefully you do not miss me. I will be back in January with my 4th semester at the Culinary, where I get into classes like Euromed, Americas, Garde Manger, some really, really exciting classes. Again, my name is Brien O'Brien. I'm a 2nd semester student at the Culinary Institute of America at Greystone. If you have any questions about what it takes to get enrolled or what it's like to be a student at the Culinary, please feel free to reach out. You can email me at brian@chefbrianobrien.com. You can shoot me an inbox message or just comment below. Thanks again for watching, guys. See you next year.